we are going to be doing today is I am going to be going through some of your hottest takes. So about 2 days ago, I put out tweets. This was a last minute idea, and I put out a tweet calling out for some of your hottest takes. I said, I'm looking for your hottest anime takes, but don't give a simple, this show is mid. I want to know why. Sometimes when I hear hot takes, it's just X show is mid, or I think X show is overrated. And that doesn't really get much discussion about, so I wanted to know not just your hot takes, but some reasoning behind it. And some people understood the assignment, and some people really didn't. So I expected this to be, a nice little casual tweet, just something I could use for my stream. So at the time of this stream, it currently has 4.8 million views with 8.3k replies. So suffice to say, I don't think that we are going to be going through every single tweet, every single reply, but we are going to be going through some of them. And I'm going to be going through the reply threads and seeing which one catches my fancy. Now, I think this would be funner if we have a rating system. So we're going to rate every hot take we go through with a 5-point rating system. Is the take cold? Is the take something that is not a hot take at all? Is it something that pretty much everyone is going to agree on? Is it cold as fuck? Is it sizzling? It's not the hottest take in the world, but maybe they kind of got a point there. Maybe they're kind of onto something here. It's not quite there yet, but it's kind of like sizzling. It's sizzling. Are they actually cooking? So, are they cooking? Is this take? Are they actually cooking with this take? Have they actually got a point with this take? Oh, god damn. Okay. They just might be cooking with this take. Is it a legit hot take? And by hot take, I mean, is it something that is a little too hot for most people to agree on, but maybe some people can agree on it? Or the last place, is it just a fucking nuclear take? This fucking dish is overcooked. It is burnt. No one is going to want to eat this dish. You have gone nuclear with this take. So, that's what we're going to do. Now, I know what Twitter is like. And so I'm not going to be scrolling down. I'm going to be scrolling down on another screen because, honestly, quite frankly, I don't motherfucking trust you guys. And more than you guys, I don't motherfucking trust Twitter. So just in case, I'm going to scroll down on another one and then pick some replies that I think might be worth going through. But we can't start with the hot. We can't. Let's just start with the top one. Let's just start with Lud's one. So I saw quite a few other content creators actually reply to mine. I didn't expect any content creators to reply to my tweet. But it seems a lot of my mates did end up going through this. So I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. Starting with Lud, who says, rewatching OG Naruto is almost fucking unbearable with how outdated it looks and how slow it is paced. How are we feeling about this one? Cold, sizzling, cooking?
Replace Naruto with One Piece and Lud is cooking.
Cooking, hot, or nuclear? All right. So, rewatching OG Naruto is almost fucking unbearable with how outdated it looks and how slow it is paced. I am going to say this is sizzling. It's sizzling. It's sizzling. All right. It's not the worst take in the world. It's not the worst take. It's not the hottest take in the world, but he does have a point that I do agree to, but he has some points that I don't agree with as well. All right. The point I don't agree with is that it's fucking unbearable, because I think that OG Naruto still is fantastic. And the big difference between OG Naruto and, let's say he said One Piece, because One Piece, if he said One Piece, I would actually say I low-key agree, and he's actually cooking. But the big difference between OG Naruto and One Piece is how they handle filler. And the great thing about OG Naruto is that you can just skip the filler episodes. You can skip the filler episodes. It's fine. We're no longer watching this weekly. You can skip it. You can just skip it and go straight back to the canon episodes. All right. No one's telling you that you have to watch 100% OG Naruto. You can just skip the filler. But with One Piece, it's so much harder to skip the filler because it is baked into the episodes. How outdated it looks, let's just say, when Naruto goes hard, it still goes hard. There is nothing dated about Rock Lee versus Gaara, Sasuke versus Orochimaru, Naruto versus Sasuke, okay? Some other fights? All right, maybe a bit. Maybe a little bit. But I don't think this is an OG Naruto problem. I think this is a Studio Pierrot problem, because I can replace Naruto with so many ones of their adaptation, okay? Because the most recent example I can think of, and I say this as a fan of this title, Black Clover. Black Clover was also done by Studio Pierrot, and what I could not get, the reason I became a manga reader was because, similarly with Naruto, you will have these fucking 10 out of 10 episodes, these 10 out of 10 episodes with amazing fucking animation. It's like the studio poured all their time and energy into like 1 or 2 fights every 20 to 25 episodes. And then the rest of those 20 episodes are just like basic bare bones 6 out of 10 animation. It's not the worst animation in the world. It's just like passable animation. And I think that was just the trade-off that you had with long-running weekly series. So there's a reason why I think that seasonal anime just works so much better with something like My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer. Instead of, number 1, adding filler to it, or number 2, having your resources put into just 1 or 2 fights, and have the rest of them be, you know... Oh, thank you, honey. Oh, that's why you're the greatest wife ever.
Honey, I know
you.
Give me affection.
Thank you.
I love you.
I didn't even tell you to get me some.
I know.
Thank you, hon. Yeah, my wife. That's my wife. She got me coffee and I didn't even ask for it. She got me Starbucks. She got my coffee order. Just what I needed. Where was I? Yeah, when you pour all of your resources into 1 or 2 episodes, the other episodes are going to suffer. And the big difference is with seasonal anime, you have a lot more uniformity in terms of the quality of the animation and the quality of the execution of every single episode in that season. So I would say there are parts of this I agree with. The big part I disagree with is that it's unfucking bearable. OG Naruto is great because I miss the times when strategy seemed to play a bigger factor and power scaling was a bit more toned down than it is in Shippuden, which I think just has a totally different feel to it. And I miss that feel of Naruto, man. I miss that feel of OG Naruto versus some of the shit that was happening in Shippuden, where one ninja could just solo 200 guys at once or something like that. And that's why I think OG Naruto is still worth rewatching. Just skip through the filler and you can get there. But also, you can just read the manga as well, which if you want a more perfectly paced story. So Lud was sizzling with that one. Damn, how long was I talking for that? Shit, that was one take. Oh my god, this is gonna be a long stream. I need to stop yapping. I actually need to stop yapping. We could have just said sizzling. Bro, fuck's sake, man. Okay. Multiply that by 8.3 thousand replies. I roasted Tectone for being able to yap before, and here I am going 10 minutes on one singular take. Alright. Bao, you did not give much of a reasoning. Giri, ReZero is mid, and isekais are overdone. Come on, man. Come on, Giri. This isn't a reasoning, Giri, but I'ma single you out. Giri. I'ma single you out. Look, Giri, you think this is a hot take, Giri? If you think this is a hot take, Giri, come on. You both gave me a take that was hot and also the coldest fucking take of all time. Isekais are overdone, bro. Heard it before. Even isekai fans know that isekais are overdone, okay? We know. We just don't care. We don't care, Giri. We don't care. This dish is raw. Giri. It's raw. Oh, oopsie, didn't read. Oh, wait. Amelia needs a backbone and make up her damn mind, or get the fuck out and let Subaru be happy with Rem. No, Giri's a Rem stan. Oh, Giri. Oh my god. It gets worse. Oh no. Oh god. Oh no, Giri. All right. Isekais are overdone. That is a cold ass take. Amelia needs to grow a backbone and make up her damn mind, bro. That was like all of season 2. That was all the development she got in season 2. Season 2 is what cemented Amelia as best girl. At least I hope you are referring to Amelia, since I think since I hope it's not Amelia Watson we're talking about, since that's how you spelled her name. But I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. All right, Giri, thank you very much for your contribution to that. We needed a cold take. Just to work off of. All right, Kuro from V Shoujo. My guy Kuro. Let's see. Oh, wait. I see the gif. Could he be cooking? Keijo is legitimately entertaining action anime. People think it's just Guna bait, but they don't understand. Each girl has different assets that must be utilized to the best of their ability. Big boobs doesn't equal big power. It's how you use it. They are equivalent to JoJo stans. People who say Sing is... Oh, this is different. People say Sing is a good movie because the gorilla guy... Okay, I don't know. Is Sing... Okay, are these two separate takes? Okay, these are two separate takes in one. I haven't seen Sing, so I can't judge that. I will just judge... It's a part of the first? Oh, wait. Is Sing a movie? Okay, I haven't seen Sing. Okay. All right. Sing. People say Sing is a good movie because the gorilla guy's dad watches his son go to prison and goes, "That's my son," and becomes proud of him. Are stupid. This anime literally did this first and better. The scene where her disapproving dad watches his daughter give herself. Oh, okay. The scene where her disapproving dad watches his daughter give herself the ultimate wedgie to surpass light speed movement against her opponent by having less air resistance in her body and swimsuit by doing so, and then having her dad finally be proud of his daughter for that is cinema. Absolute cinema. Bro. Wait, can this boy cook? Wait, can this boy cook? Can this boy actually cook? Yo, are we cooking right now? Are we actually cooking? Holy shit. All right. I'm going to say he's cooking because I would say that Keijo is a legitimately entertaining action. I would say I wouldn't call it an action anime. This is sports anime to the T. This is not only sports anime. It does what some of the best sports anime do, and I've forgotten words. It enhances things. No, it exaggerates. It exaggerates things, and then Keijo goes, okay, most sports anime is going to exaggerate things to, let's say, a level 9 or level 10. Keijo goes, we know no one is going to take this seriously. This is an anime about fucking sumo wrestling gals with using their boobs and ass on water wearing swimsuits. We know no one is going to take this seriously. Let's take this to level 11. Let's take this to level 12 and it's one of those shows where you just want to turn your brain off and just watch stupid ass shit. And then you have stupid pals like the ass of Babylon. It's something that knows, it's a show that knows exactly what it is and doesn't care to try to garner an audience outside of it. Is it Guna bait? Yeah. Yeah. But it's good Guna bait, all right? It's yes, it is, and it doesn't care at all. It doesn't care. The closest thing I can think to it, actually, very similar show that gives off the same energy. It's something like High School of the Dead. You know, we know why people are watching it. We know that this isn't the peak of entertainment, but you know what? We don't care. We don't care that it's not the peak of entertainment, and the show doesn't care either. The show knows its strengths, and it goes towards those strengths. Kuro's cooking. Kuro is absolutely cooking with that take. Wow, okay. Actual, oh, okay. Tectones just came up. All right. Oh my god. All right. Okay, so to preface, Techie did give me a Discord message being like, by the way, this took me like 30 minutes to write out. I hope you go through some of these. I could be a dick and be like, nah, I'm going to skip this one. Blood was yapping. But you know what? I'll go through some of them. I'll go through some of them. I won't go through every one of them, but I'll go through some of them. Oh my god. What is this? Bro, is someone getting cancelled up in here? It keeps going. It keeps going. Did Blood declare war against the entire anime community? Yo, I'm happy for you, or I'm sorry for your loss, but I ain't reading all that. All right. We'll speed run this, unless there's something that really, really catches catches my eye. Number one, Deku should have been killed off far earlier in the show, and the one, Deku, he's the main character, and the one for all should have been passed to Lemillion due to him being a far more complete of a character. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what you're cooking there, Tech. That's not a nuclear take. That's just a weird take. There are, in my opinions, a lot of characters that are far more interesting than Deku. I would agree with that. I think your problem isn't. I think your problem is more with Deku being an uninteresting character than this random ass plot progression of One for All being passed to someone completely different. Because I think what makes Lemillion complete as a character, and what makes a lot of characters in My Hero Academia far more interesting, is, you know, the limitations of their power. Lemillion is really, really interesting with his energy and his philosophy of the world and how he approaches being a hero. And he's not the strongest hero in the world, but he learned how to use his powers to the best of his ability and be as useful as possible. I would argue if anyone would have an interesting character arc, it would have been Bakugo. if anyone, I think. Not Lemillion. Lemillion's a random character. If anyone would be more interesting to pass All for One to, it's probably Bakugo, because out of everyone so far, he has the most interesting character development I've seen in My Hero Academia. Seeing him just become a fucking angry ass bully to someone who has deep insecurities and is trying to grasp those insecurities, and, you know, at the end of the day, still has anger issues, but becomes a lot more relatable and becomes a lot more understandable. Shoto, obviously, would be another interesting one as well, but I'm going to call this one a hot take, because I don't know how you pass All for One to someone else. Number 2, the anime community's hatred for Black Clover is completely unjustified if you simply read the manga. All animation issues and voice acting inconsistencies are solved. I completely agree with this one. I would say I actually just said this in a previous one. Is it even a hot take to say this anymore? Because I think, are there still Black Clover haters out there? Are they still Black Clover haters out there? You know, I don't know if anyone actually goes out and hates Black Clover anymore. I don't really see much on my timeline about Black Clover, because everyone who stopped watching the anime has already, who dropped the anime never continued watching it, and people who are still into Black Clover, everyone knows this take. So I'm not going to say this is like completely cold. I'm going to say it's sizzling. Dr. Stone's ending was amazing. I haven't watched it. If a show takes over 8 episodes to get good, I think it's okay if people say it's shit. There is no way I would have ever watched the Two Towers of Lord of the Rings if Fellowship of the Ring was a bad movie. Asking people to sink over 3 hours into a mediocre watching experience is just fucking dumb. Okay, finally a take I can go balls deep into. All right. Shit, I'm gonna go yap with yap for this one. Okay. So, There are 2 ways to go about this, right? Because one thing I fucking despise when it comes to watching anime is when I watch an anime and then I say I don't like it, and people are like, "No, you didn't stick on until the good part, the good fucking part." And I'm like, bro, I watched like half of the show and it still doesn't get good. Bro, if I watch half of the show and it still doesn't get good, then I would argue that it's not fucking worth it. It's not fucking worth it, you know? I think the big factor in this take is how long it takes to get to the good part versus how long the good part lasts for. It's about the payoff. So let's say we talk about One Piece, because One Piece is probably the prime example for this, where it takes, I would say, 20-ish episodes to it takes 20-ish episodes to really gauge if One Piece is for you. Because I think really a lot of people say Alabasta, but for me, it's more Barati, where you really get a feel if One Piece is going to be for you. I say 20 episodes, and people are like, bro, that's an entire season of anime, bro. How can you fucking reasonably ask someone to watch 20 episodes just to see if a show gets good? And I would argue that yes, 20 episodes is a fuck ton, is a very, very long time. 20 episodes, like I said, is almost 2 cores of anime. But this is One Piece, where we have over 1,000 episodes of content to go through. And, you know, if you take the manga form, it's even more condensed and even faster paced. So, by my standards, that to me is a reasonable ask, because when I go into a piece of media or when I see a long-running series, I don't think about how much time it takes. I think, is the payoff worth it? Is the payoff worth slogging through that amount of episodes? And for One Piece, I would say yes. For One Piece, the start is a little bit slow. I wouldn't even say it's bad. I would just say it's very standard shonen affair. But the payoff, if you get through that and you find out that this is a series you like, then you have one of the greatest manga ever made, one of the greatest fictional worlds ever built, in my opinion, and some of the best anime moments you could ask for, all in one series. And you have the entire length of One Piece to enjoy that for the little slog that you went through from the beginning. Similarly, I also started playing the Trail series. I am 5 games into the Trail series. The Trail series is a JRPG series that is similar to One Piece, that has a very long overarching plot. I am not even halfway through the amount of games that are out. Every game is on average 50 to 60 hours to play. And the first game was a fucking slog. But the reason I went through it was because once I get through the slog, I hope that the payoff is going to be worth it. The payoff for going through a much slower paced slice of life kind of story to build up the characters, to get you invested into this world. I really hope that payoff is going to be worth it. And it absolutely was. And I think that that is a reasonable ask to get for the payoff that was presented. On the flip side, I've also watched 12 episode shows that I have dropped 6 or 8 episodes in. And people are like, bro, you did not get to the good bit. You didn't even give it a chance, bro. What the hell? And I'm like, bro, it's like, if I've watched half of this show and it still isn't even close to hitting, you are in full copium mode. You know, you are. It is fine to say. I think it is absolutely fine to say the show just wasn't for you.
Hot take. Oshi no Ko is the best family dynamic in anime and manga history. Emphasis on family. So wholesome, so quaint.
Cold ass take, man. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that. Cold ass take. So I think that people sometimes are far too forgiving of shows that have like a dead run and then have like one or two, like that one moment that's just like, yo, that was fucking fire. And I think it's totally it's totally fair for Connor to say that 86 wasn't for me. I think he watched enough episodes to completely gauge that it just wasn't for him. It just wasn't for him. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I think Connor also watched enough episodes of Oshinoko to say, hey, I just didn't like it. It wasn't for me. He watched like a good 6, maybe more episodes. Maybe he watched like 12 episodes or some shit. So, I would say this take... I would say a lot of people agree with this number 4 take. I'd say Tectone was sizzling with that take. It's not the most revolutionary take in the world. I'd say it's sizzling. I'd say it's sizzling with that take. Because I do agree with that take, but it's not the hottest take in the world. Okay. Jesus Christ. Recommending someone One Piece as a first anime is the product of being a bad friend. After I just went off on how much it was worth it. After I just went off with how much I fucking... in 1,100 episodes of watching One Piece, you get delivered a slightly above par viewing experience. Bro! What? In that same time, you could have watched 20 to 30 other anime in completion and have a far better understanding of the genre as a whole, and have a far greater appreciation for the next shows to come. Bro. Nah, he's right. Here's the thing. If we change One Piece anime to One Piece manga, would you still agree with this take? I would say that this is a hot take. This is absolutely a hot take. This, to me, is absolutely a hot take. Because we don't think, just because you recommend a friend One Piece doesn't mean that they only have to watch One Piece. It doesn't mean that they only have to watch One Piece. One Piece is not a race. It is a marathon, my guy. It is a fucking marathon. You can watch it arcs at the time. Sometimes you need to take a break from... Sometimes you finish an arc and you just need to take a break for a while, man. Sometimes you just need to take a break, and it's fine to watch other stuff. It's fine to watch more than one show at once, and then come back to One Piece. But you know what the great thing about One Piece is? The great thing about One Piece is because it's always going to be there. It is always going to be there. It is always going to be there when you need it. And in terms of like their first anime, I think One Piece, maybe not anime, but definitely manga. I mean, One Piece is just a great show in general. I don't see anything wrong with recommending One Piece as just a show. Maybe it's not the best one. Maybe it's not it's not the number one best recommendation you go for as the first one, but as a bad recommendation, I mean, how many people have already gotten into One Piece because of the live action adaptation, which already condensed One Piece a little bit? The biggest problem with the anime is the pacing issues, and that could easily get solved with the remake or the manga or even the fucking live action show, I would say this is a hot take. Number 6. I don't think the author's intention should matter to the community. I'm gonna go to 10 here. I know we did a lot, but I'm gonna go to 10. That's all I'm gonna do. I don't think the author's intention should matter to the community as much as they do, because I believe oftentimes the author of a series can be wrong. This leads to my next point. This is just death of the author. This is just death of the author, in my opinion. Which I'll just go on to take I'll just go into take 7. The final season of Attack on Titan was garbage. All right, already nuclear take. Already nuclear take right here. Already nuclear take. And I mean, specifically, the ending was Code Geass ending, but worse. The decision made didn't make sense from a character standpoint. Eren chooses his friends over the world every time when it mattered most. They couldn't do the same for him. Eren saying Mikasa isn't allowed to love anyone after him is something he would never say. Erwin is better than Armin. What a fucking joke of a decision that was. Dear God, they just erased. Okay, well, unfortunately. Okay, so bro just wants Code Geass version 2. All right, I see. Tech, I see how it is. Fucking nuclear ass take. In terms of this one line, nuclear ass take. The final season of Attack on Titan was garbage. That is a fucking L take. That is a nuclear take. Final season of Attack on Titan was fucking amazing. It was the build-up of every previous season, and Attack on Titan is a series that has evolved season after season, and it evolved naturally leading up to the final season, which almost turned Attack on Titan into a different show. And normally, that is a death sentence for a show. Before Attack on Titan, it was executed so well that it was some of the most engaging piece of media I have seen come out in ages, especially the political side of things and seeing every different character arc and how the characters evolved over time. Now coming to specifically the ending. The ending was Code Geass's ending, but worse. So, I don't think Attack on Titan has the greatest ending of all time, but that wasn't so much to do with the idea of the Attack on Titan ending. It was more to do with the execution. And the execution of it was that for an entire fucking season, right? We did not know what Eren was really thinking. We only had hints of what he was thinking, right? For every previous season, we could very much tell Eric's character progression. And then season 4 turned Eren's character into more of a mystery. What is Eren trying to achieve? What is his final goal? What is his mindset? That was something that we didn't really know and wasn't really revealed right up until the last episode. And that to me was, out of everything, the biggest fumble. Because we had to reveal all of a season's worth of motivations and real mentality right in like one singular scene, or a few, like half an episode basically. So it was a big reveal, and I just didn't feel like it had enough time to let his character and let his one, it didn't have enough time, and number two, I still felt that after the ending, there was still a lot of things I did not understand, and I think that's where all the quote unquote like plot holes or all the inconsistencies come from, is that we just didn't have enough time to explain all of that stuff, and that to me was the fumble. But to say that it was horrible, no. I say that the Attack on Titan ending still landed on 2 feet. Was it the greatest execution? No. The decisions didn't make sense from a character standpoint. Eren chooses his friend over everyone over the world every time when it mattered, and they couldn't do the same for him. Eren saying Mikasa wasn't allowed to love anyone after him is something he would never say. See, here's the biggest thing, is that my interpretation of Eren in the final ending scene was that bro was just cosplaying a badass this entire time. Bro had no idea what he was really doing. He was the same edgy, angry kid as what he was like at the beginning, and he was just making shit up as he was going along. And the biggest achievement he did was gaslighting everyone, not only everyone in the story, but all of us reading the story, that he had a fucking master plan to begin with. And I think, personally, that's interesting. Sorry, someone's at the door. Tectone's at the door. Tectone was at the door. He was like, I heard you talking shit. I heard you talking shit. Tectone sends his regards. To me is interesting, because I don't want another copy paste of Code Geass's ending. We've seen Code Geass's ending, and you know what? I think Attack on Titan's ending is more reflective of these current times and this current environment than Code Geass's ending was for back in the day, you know? And my biggest problem, like I said, is not so much what the ending was. It was the execution of it. And I think that was my interpretation of the ending. If it had been executed with a little bit more time to really flesh out Eren's character in season 4 a little bit more, give us a little bit more time to really understand the different, you know, what Eren was doing throughout season 4, as opposed to him being this, you know, super uber badass who seems to have a plan for everything. If we just had a bit more time to understand ending Eren as a character, I think this could arguably, this is my hot take, I think that this could arguably be even more interesting than the Code Geass ending, because that would have made the ending far, you know, that would have given the ending far more layers to it than just one guy sacrificing himself for the world. And that is it. And that
You're
is
pretty
it.
good about this talking about anime thing. You should do this for a living.
So that is my take. This is basically 2 takes in one. First part of this, nuclear take. Second part of this take, I mean, I personally this is not a new take. I personally think this is a cold take that I think is just wrong. I can't make a kill. Okay, I don't really want to. Okay, Blue Lock. Not really invested in this. Tanjiro from Demon Slayer is actually a great main character. In a world full of darkness and despair, his resolve always allows him to lose hope and be there for everyone, and everyone needs a helping hand. He's admirable for everyone. He's admirable and earns my respect for not giving up in the face of doom. This is 100% enhanced from a 6 out of 10 manga to a 9 out of 10 anime, and I feel bad for anyone who reads the manga instead of enjoying this in the premiere viewing experience. Sizzling. I think Tanjiro is maybe overhated. He does what he needs to do. To call him a great main character is overstating it a bit. I just think he does what he needs to do. He's a very safe character. He's okay. Let me reread to you this sentence. In a world full of darkness and despair, his resolve always allows him to not lose hope and be there for everyone and anyone that needs a helping hand. This sentence can describe like 90% of shonen protagonists. It can describe 90% of shonen protagonists, man. And so I'm gonna say that although Tanjiro to me isn't as uninteresting as someone like, I think he's a bit more interesting than Deku, but not like amazingly more interesting. I'm just gonna say Tanjiro does what he needs to do, and that's completely fine. And I'm going to say the steak is sizzling. And I think we've had enough. We've gone through 10 takes. I think that's cool. Tech, we've we need to go to other people, man. But thank you very much for your takes. Thank you very much for your takes, man. All right. Let's go on. Let's go on. Who else has submitted a take? Yeah, let's a lot of these are Jujutsu Kaisens or Demon Slayer. Ooh. Okay. Let's give this one a go. That's a show I haven't seen in a while. Let's read this one. Rubber Ross has said, Darling in the Franxx felt like it had so much potential for world building, but instead primarily focuses on insufferable fan service. Then in the last few episodes,
sacrifice wouldn't have mattered much if not for the fact he wiped out 80%. Else they would have just gone about back to the old ways. Now the survivors shared a common purpose against an evil. I feel it felt better than Gyos' ending.
If you actually, so this is all unscripted. My opinion from the Attack on Titan ending hasn't changed since my video on the Attack on Titan ending. So if you want to see my fully scripted thoughts, I basically just regurgitated that. Previous Gigguk probably said my take better than me back in that video. So let me say this again. Darling in the Franxx felt like it had so much potential for world building, but instead primarily focuses on insufferable fan service. Then in the last few episodes, realized it hadn't explained anything. Then bam, aliens, it was very bad. Which is insane because I love Gurren Lagann, which is basically the same thing, but way more fun. Ooh, okay. Well, Trigger be doing Trigger things. Ross, I think this is a pretty cold take for anyone who has watched Darling in the Franxx. My viewing experience with Darling in the Franxx was I did not actually care about the fan service. I'd be interested to hear what you think about something like Kill la Kill. Because I think, unlike a lot of other anime, I'm gonna be that guy, aren't I? I'm gonna be. It's not just fan service. It does more than just fan service, guys. I swear to God. Because at least at the very least, boys, the fan service in Darling in the Franxx. Wait. Was it a metaphor, guys? Was it just a metaphor this entire time? Whoa. But I think fan service in Darling in the Franxx was very, I'd say, very reminiscent to what Kill la Kill did with its fan service. And I don't think it was purely fan service for fan service sake, but it definitely was fan service, if you know what I'm saying. But it wasn't purely just an ecchi show. And I don't think it's really took away from the world building. I think the world building had a lot of potential in it. If anything took away from the potential of Darling in the Franxx, it was, yes, the final few episodes. Watching Darling in the Franxx, I was invested in the story. I was invested in the character dramas and the character growth and everything. And then Aliens happened. And that was when my investment just went blah. That was when my entertainment of Darling in the Franxx changed from me being invested in these world and characters to me being invested in just how fucking stupid can this get and how crazy the fan reactions are going to be. And it was a different kind of entertainment, but it went from me appreciating the show for what it was trying to say to me just appreciating the shit show that it was, you know? And I think Gurren Lagann is slightly different in terms of execution when it comes to Darling in the Franxx, because Gurren Lagann was just pure hype from beginning to end. It was just pure ridiculousness from beginning to end, and almost aliens and space kind of made sense for Gurren Lagann because it was already going in. I felt like it was already going in that direction anyway. And the only way to get more ridiculous than some of, like, we were halfway through the show and we were like going through some of the most over the top anime scenes you could ask for. And then by it continuing to go over the top, it just felt like a natural progression of things. Whereas with Darling in the Franxx, it just felt like it came out of nowhere. And it was just a slap in the face. And then Giant 02 happened. And I was like, what the fuck? But anyone who watched Darling in the Franxx would pretty much agree with this take. So I'm going to say this is a pretty cold take, Ross. But thank you very much for your submission. Next. Your dub was better? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I made that dub out of frustration. Out of frustration. Ooh. Okay. Next one. Savi has said, your name is actually insanely overrated and not only shows how bad writing with unexplained plot holes can be excused for having pretty cloud animation, but also I'm a low-key ruined, but also, in my opinion, ruined Radwimp's unique music style by turning them into a commercial pop band, which they weren't before. Wow, you sent this take to the wrong person, Savvy. Cause I am the biggest Your Name fan. As you know, I made a video called, I think it's called The Perfect Anime or something, and it was like, Your Name was what got me thinking about that. I fucking love Your Name. Joey secret alt account.
Bleach would be way bigger than any shonen currently, JJK, Demon Slayer, etc. if it released now with Demon Slayer level animation.
I mean, I would say the new Bleach anime does have great animation in the remake. So I'ma say probably nah for that one. I think Bleach, like Naruto, is a product of its time, and all the series coming out nowadays have built on the foundations that Bleach and Naruto laid back in the day, you know? So, coming back to this one, Your Name is actually insanely overrated. So, I think this comes from back in the day. I think Your Name was like the number one rated anime on my anime list, and now there are a lot of Your Name haters, but because of the critical acclaim that Your Name got, is it the perfect movie? No, I don't think that it is the perfect movie, but it is one of my favorite anime movies of all time, and there are two reasons for this, basically. Number one, unlike something like A Silent Voice, which is obviously another movie that Your Name gets compared to a lot, I think I've said this before. I think Your Name is such a fantastic cinematic experience. Asylum Point has such a beautiful, grounded story, but Your Name, going to see Your Name in cinemas is just such a beautiful experience. And I think you lose some of that experience watching it on Blu-ray, on streaming, because that final scene, I think it's just that final scene where the comet hits and the Radwimp moment happens. It just like so many things were happening. I remember crying in that scene, not because I was sad, but just because I was just overwhelmed with emotions and beauty. That was the absolute cinema scene for me. That was like the absolute cinema scene for me. But another reason why I realized I really fucking like Your Name as well is I think I saw a clip recently from Quentin Tarantino. He was talking about films back in the day, and he was talking about something that I think you can definitely say for a lot of modern blockbuster movies, a lot of modern films that I've seen, in that he misses when movies back in the day unraveled. You know, you came into the cinema to watch a film, and the film would unravel in front of you. Whereas nowadays, he's not talking about Marvel, but this is like my frame of reference. Nowadays, you watch the trailer and you know exactly what kind of experience you're going to get. You know exactly, you've seen enough of these types of movies that you know what the story beats are going to be, what you're going to see, what the climax is going to be, and you can basically almost predict the entire movie, bar one or two little cameos or one or two little things here and there. But in terms of like the beats for beats, you can pretty much tell what is going to happen, and that's fine. That is completely fine, because I didn't go into Endgame being like, I don't know what's going to happen. I went into Endgame being like, I can't wait for all these superheroes to team up and beat Thanos, and it's going to be a full-on massive brawl. And I got that. And it was amazing. And I fucking loved that. But I remember watching Your Name for the first time, and I didn't really know what I was going to get from this movie. I watched the trailer and I was like, oh, this is going to be a fun little, you know, maybe a fun Freaky Friday kind of thing. Maybe there's going to be some romance in there. And then you watch the movie, and then it plays out one way, and then the movie hits the halfway point, and you're like, and I was like, holy shit, wait, where is this going? I don't know where this is going. I don't know where the story is going anymore. I don't know what's going to be happening. And from that on, I was just fucking hooked. I was like, I was seeing this story kind of like unravel. I didn't know what the climax of the story was going to be. I didn't know where these characters were going to end up by the end of this movie. And I fucking missed that feeling so much. I missed that feeling so much. And I think Your Name is something that does that perfectly. Like I said, going back to A Silent Voice, I knew what kind of experience I was going to get with A Silent Voice. It's a story about a guy who bullied a girl, and he finds he eventually has regret over that. And, you know, he learns how to be a better person, and he learns to become, and he learns to deal with his inner trauma that has come from that. Great movie. I fucking cried. Cried like a bitch, you know? But I knew what kind of story I was going to get into. And that's what I just described is one of the big reasons why I fucking loved Your Name the first time I'm watching it, because that's why I think it's just such a magical cinema experience for giving me that experience and just making it so that I was just watching fucking cinema unravel in front of me. Are there plot holes in there? Maybe. I haven't thought too deeply about it. Are the characters the deepest in Your Name? No, they're not. I think the characters are deep enough for what the story tried to achieve. So I think this is a hot take, because I fucking love Your Name. Conclusion. Absolute cinema. Absolute cinema. Thank you very much. When did this become a Silent Voice versus Your Name? They're both great. I agree. Sorry. This isn't me shitting on a Silent Voice. This is me using a Silent Voice as a reference for something else that is great, but something else that is great in a different way. Okay. Whew. Okay. Who wants to go next? Okay, Attack on Titan. We've already gone through that. Demon Slayer. Okay, we've already gone through that. Okay, let's... Ooh. Ooh. Okay. I'm just trying to go through takes and shows that we haven't gone through before, because mid anime is fine, even though these days people use mid as an insult. Not everything has to be a 10 out of 10 masterpiece with epic animation to be enjoyable, and I need snob anime fans to stop watching anime based only on Mao rankings. Please and thank you. Dr. Nova. I would say that this isn't exactly a cold take. Otherwise people would stop using people would stop using mid in a negative context. I would say this is a sizzling take. This is a sizzling take. I think that mid anime obviously is fine. I think the biggest thing, right, is more people should be fine with watching anime based on their own tastes, as opposed to just trying to keep up with anime that everyone is talking about. I would say that now that I've watched enough shows, there are some shows that I know from like a critical standpoint, from a critical standpoint, are better written, have better characters, but everyone has different tastes. Everyone has different wants in their entertainment. And sometimes you want something that maybe is a 6 or 7 out of 10, that is something that is more pertaining to your taste than something that is more universally agreed that is a 9, that is an 8 or 9 out of 10. Like, I think shonen level, Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer is always going to be more always going to be more popular than something like Dan 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 or Chainsaw Man. But my personal taste, I probably would like something that is a little bit edgier, a little bit weirder, that goes towards that side. Here's my hot take, and this is a complete hot take that I don't even think is correct. This is just my personal opinion. I think Kaguya is an amazing romance with great characters, great drama, great writing. And I personally find more entertainment reading stuff like Domestic Girlfriend and Rent a Girlfriend. That's, you know, I can look at something like Kaguya-sama and I can say, this is fucking amazing. This is fantastic. But in terms of what I find more entertaining, it's shit. It's the trashy romance. I love my trashy romance. What can I say? You know, what can I fucking say? I'm a masochist for my romance, and that is not That is just me saying, here are my tastes. You know what I mean? Here are my tastes. I can recognize greatness when I see it, but I can also recognize what my tastes are. And I think more people need to be okay with that kind of mentality. Based but L. So I will say that this is a sizzling take. All right, we've got 1 hour and 43 minutes. W and L at the same. They're like, yeah. I could see the switch up in the chat. I could see the switch up being like, yo, he's cooked. Wait, yes, I agree, but I don't want to agree, but I agree. Had me in the first half, not gonna lie. Oh man. I agree, but what the fuck is wrong with you? Oh man. Okay, let's see what else we got. Fullmetal Alchemist, I can't comment on that. JJK, Boruto, can't comment on a lot of these. Some of these are cold ass takes. I'm not gonna lie. This is really fun, bro. How many takes have I gone through? Because I feel like I haven't gone through that much. Ooh, this is an interesting one. This is an interesting one. Like 5 and then 10 from Tectone. Okay, I will say, even though we went through a lot of Tectones, Tectone did give some interesting takes for some of them compared to some of these one sentence takes. Okay. The NCS Smashter said, modern battle shonen could use way more filler / downtime for characters to just talk to flesh out their dynamics / relationships. Fights are great, but hard focusing on fight / hype moments make them way less impactful. This is something I feel My Hero Academia excels at compared to Demon Slayer or JJK. Fuck, we cooking. We cooking. We are cooking. we are actually cooking. You know what? If you combined the downtime and character writing of My Hero Academia with the fight choreography and pure hype of Jujutsu Kaisen, you would have the greatest fucking anime, modern anime ever made, man. My favorite part of My Hero Academia is the character writing. I would say that it excels at it a little too fucking hard, because the character writing takes away from the fight sometimes, because we have to focus so much time on the characters, on the character writing, that sometimes we take things away from the fight when you have a fucking flashback or character monologue going back to what these characters are dealing with. On the flip side of things, with Jujutsu Kaisen, specifically with Season 2, and I've said this before, I think the Shibuya arc came one season too early. I think it needed one more season at least to let me hang out with these characters more, to make some of these shocking moments in the Shibuya arc hit way more than they did because the Shibuya arc as it is a fucking roller coaster. It has it is a complete Sakuga. It is a complete celebration of Sakuga and animation and fight choreography, and it is fucking amazing. But you get no time to breathe, and it would have been fine if we had time to breathe prior to the Shibuya arc. You know, it goes from one moment to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, and because of that, a lot of the more shocking moments in the Shibuya arc just didn't even have any time to sink in or have any real impact for myself. And I feel like if it just had a little more downtime, a little more time to get to know some of these characters, to hang out with these characters, not in the context of a fight or a death battle, it would have hit way harder. So he uses the word filler / downtime, and I think filler is the wrong word to use, because in my opinion, downtime isn't filler. Downtime is just quieter time. Downtime is not action. And sometimes you need that quieter time to sometimes you need to trick your kids into eating their vegetables to appreciate the meal as a whole. You can't just have a meat dish after a meat dish after a meat dish. You know, you need some balance in there. You know, you need some balance up in there. You can't be having ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner all of the time. You know, you need some balance in your diet. But sometimes the kids are like, if I need to eat my vegetables before having all of this meat for the main dish, I don't want it. I don't want it. Get this out of here. Get this out of here, man. Go on hinting that he is a kid. I liked the Hashira training arc. So here's the biggest thing. Is that I think some things are just, I think when it comes to downtime, sometimes that downtime can really put on the forefront if a character is interesting or not. Downtime is great if you actually have some, if you have interesting characters and an interesting dynamic. And I just don't think the downtime done in the Hashira arc was honestly that interesting. I think they could have been, because it was filler. It truly did feel like filler. You know, when they were going through an entire arc, entire episode, just making paper airplanes, that truly did just feel like I'm watching nothing being laid down, nothing progressing. In terms of downtime, the way to do it right is to use that downtime to flesh out your characters a bit more, to flesh out your relationships a bit more, to get you a bit more interested and invested in these characters themselves. That is the right way to do it. I don't really count that as filler, which is why I say I think filler is the wrong word to use for this. But in terms of slower downtime, that is the perfect way to do it. One more example I want to suck the dick of quickly. Recreators. I'm gonna go Recreators because I just want to talk about Recreators. Recreators before the final battle had this. Recreators had this like final arc that all the characters had built up to, right? And just before that final battle, it introduced a Hot Springs episode. And normally Hot Springs episode are like, or Hot Springs or beach episodes, they're like, bro, fan service episode, this is it. This is all filler, but it's fan service filler. Let's go. But that was one of my favorite Recreators episode because it was like the episode was put at such a perfect point where it was just the calm before the storm. It was like the series was saying to you, enjoy this moment because this is the last moment you're going to see the characters this happy. And it was such a, it was like when that episode ended, it gave me like a bittersweet moment because it was almost like I was saying goodbye to these characters being the same characters that they are now before the final battle. Because spoilers or slight spoilers, I knew that not every character would make it. I didn't know who wasn't going to make it, but I knew that this was going to be the last time. And I fucking loved that. And having that calm before the storm, I think is fantastic. And that is what the Shibi arc needed. Not just one episode of Calm Before the Storm, but just like more, give me more like that. Let me know the storm is coming and let me just appreciate the time I have while I know things are quiet as it is now. Saber, Iskandar, and Gilgamesh, bro. That is just masterclass writing in general. Okay.
The fourth Great Ninja War arc in Shippuden would have been on par with the Pain arc if they kept Madara as the final villain. The hype of every ninja village teaming up and seeing so many different fight styles is what the show is all about.
Cooking. I It would have made it shorter as well, and I do think when they peaked with Madara there. I do think they peaked with Madara. Thank you very much for cooking. Okay. Let's see. Someone knows who they're submitting their hot takes towards. Slice of Anime says, Rent-A-Girlfriend is peak fiction. Not only does it have a great cast, but by dragging out the story, we get small character building moments that other romance series never cover. Also, NTR Pog. Guys, bait used to be believable. bait used to be believable, but God, I want to agree with this take so much. I want to agree with this take so much. All right. Let's take out this line. Okay, I'm going to surgically remove some of this. Let's take out this line for a moment. Nah, that's the best part, bro. What is this chat right now? Not only does it have a great cast, but yeah, it has a great... Rent-A-Girlfriend has a fucking fantastic cast because I think they do such an amazing job. They do such an amazing fucking job at making you hate every single character. Even if you think you have a character that you like, they somehow make you like start, they do something and they make you start to hate them. And we talk about deep characters. This is a deep hate. It's not just, these aren't one-dimensional characters. This is a multi-dimensional hatred you have towards some of these characters, man. Only Sumi is unhated? Oh, just you wait. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the I'm waiting for Sumi to do something to be like, all right. I'm just waiting, man. I'm just waiting. Not only does it great, but by dragging out the story, we get small character building romances that other romance series never cover. So I think the anger towards Rent-A-Girlfriend is I can genuinely see. Okay, no meme, actual serious Garnt cooking right now. and you can tell me if I'm overcooking or undercooking this one. Rent-A-Girlfriend has potential. It has. I think the reason that Rent-A-Girlfriend gets so much anger and hatred is just because it was moving in a direction where you thought that you saw some positive development, especially with the characters. You thought that we were progressing in a positive direction. And then it felt like all of the characters just went down like that. And the real question is the payoff going to be worth it? Because right now, I have a series that I love that does something reminiscent of Rent-A-Girlfriend. And that is a series. It's going to be a wild card. It is a series called Mushoku Tensei. The thing that I can really respect about Mushoku Tensei is that you have a character who is a piece of shit at the start. And then he makes some positive development, but then he does something shit again, but then he makes a little bit more positive developments, and you can see, and the thing I respect is that it shows you that development in a character isn't always positive. And at the moment, he's still not, he's still like, I still don't like him as a person, but I can see some improvements in some aspects here and there. And I am hoping, because I'm here for the long game, that eventually he becomes, over time, a better and better person that learns from his mistakes. The big difference I see with Rent-A-Girlfriend is that you have that positive development with Kazuya. And then from what I've read, he just goes back to being fucking rotten. And then he never fucking, he never quite get out of that hole again. And it had potential because if you just kept giving me just a little bit more wins in his character, just throw me a bone. Just throw me a bone where it doesn't always have to be in a positive direction, but you can't just keep going into like the negative development and just keep having him be a piece of shit without any redeeming qualities. That is when people start to check out. And this is almost a take that I can agree with, because the story is long. And I would think that if it wasn't dragging out for the sake of just dragging out the story, but if it was a long story, to see that long character development, to see that more realistic character development of someone who is a really unlikable person, like that Kazuya is, and the whole concept of Rent-A-Girlfriend, to convince me that Kazuya, at the end of the story, gets a girl and gets the girl to fall in love with him. There is a lot of development that needs to happen from point A to B. And to get from point A to B, for that character, there needs to be a fucking lot of development and a lot of chapters, way more than your usual romance chapter. So I can understand why Rent-A-Girlfriend conceptually would need to have a lot of chapters. The execution, though, is not, in reality, is not like that. And he doesn't do that. And that is the reason why I think, unfortunately, Rent-A-Girlfriend had the potential, and right now it is just not executing it, and it has become a meme because of that. Rant over. Oh man. Rant fucking over. Oh, this is turning into rant o'clock, man. Woo! Damn, 2 hour stream. This is turning into a Gigok therapy, bro. I know, right? I know. Bro, this it's doing exactly what it is intending to do, farm content. Bro, this is me just getting shit off my chest that I just wanted to get off my chest. Go through faster, bro. Bro, where's the value if I go through some people have streams and styles where they just go through fast and they could be like tier list, go through tier list. I need to rant about my opinion because I have too many thoughts in my head. Okay. Next take. Let's expand on some takes we've had before. My Hero Academia is a great show and people shit on it cause it's cool to hate on My Hero Academia these days and its cringe as fuck fandom. The show itself uses simple battle shonen tropes but masters all of them perfectly. It has some of the most hype and emotional moments ever. I'm going to let this take... Where is it? I'm going to let this take marinate for a bit while I take a quick pee break. I will be right back. I need a banana. Bro. Okay. I'm pretty hungry. Shit, I have no banana, chat. What do I do? What do I do, chat? Okay. Ah. Bro, I'm just sucking on the mint right now. since I have nothing. I have nothing. No banana, no nothing. I forgot to have lunch, man. I got a fucking... I'm on my on the fucking student diet. You still watching League Esports? I am. Alright. Well, it's just started, so I've been watching that a lot. Okay. Okay, so let's get back to this. My Hero Academia is a great show, and people shit on it because it's cool to hate on My Hero Academia. And these days, and its cringe as fuck fandom. The show itself uses simple battle shonen tropes, but masters all of them perfectly. It has some of the most hype and emotional moments ever. Chat, what do we think about this? I am going to say that this is sizzling. This is sizzling. It's not cooking. It's not cooking, but it is, in my opinion, sizzling. It's hyping it up a little too much. Little too much. So, do I think that My Hero Academia is overhated nowadays? I do. And I've said this before in, I think, my previous tier list stream. I've realized that I have also shit on My Hero Academia before, but I don't do it. I think a lot of people don't do it because it's cool. I think a lot of people shit on it because they had an investment in the show. They had an investment. So the disappointment is stronger. As an emotional reaction, the disappointment is stronger because there was a time when they were really invested in it and they probably watched it for a little bit longer than they would have watched other shows because they hoped that it would hit those same peaks. But then they never ended up loving it as much as they did before. And that was my experience, where I am still up to date with My Hero Academia, and there is so much. Every time I talk about My Hero Academia, I always seem to complain about it more than I praise it. And it comes from that perspective because I can see all the good parts that it's doing, but it also hurts me so much because I can't unsee all the faults that I can see in it. So I don't think people shit on it because it's cool. I did think it had a cringe as fuck fandom. So I think every fandom that gets super popular is going to be cringe. All right. My Hero Academia had a cringe fandom. Demon Slayer had a cringe fandom. JJK had a cringe fandom. Attack on Titan for a long time had a cringe fandom as well. JJK versus My Hero Academia for the worst fandom. Let's talk about their fandoms in their peaks, okay? Because to me, My Hero Academia probably had at its peak of popularity, the worst of the fandoms. Because here's the thing. The MHA fandom was just cringe back in the day at its peak, right? JJK fandom is also peak. But the big difference is that their meme game is just top fucking tier, man. the JJK fandom, they were cringe, but at least they gave us something funny to laugh at, you know? At least they gave us the brain rot to laugh at while we like reveled in their cringe, man. The My Hero Academia fandom back in the day were fucking we're just shipping the cringiest fucking couples of all time, like Todoroki and his dad or some shit like that. It was like, bro, is this what you're unleashing onto the world right now? At least with JJK, yes, it's toxic, yes, it's cringe, but at least you give us some banger memes. At least you give us some banger memes, man. So, I would say that My Hero Academia did have a fucking awful fan base when it was at its peak. Not so much nowadays because the fandom is a lot quieter, but definitely at its peak. The show itself uses simple battle shonen tropes, but masters a lot of them perfectly. Now, I want to go back to a take I said earlier today regarding the writing and regarding the downtime of My Hero Academia. What I think is My Hero Academia's biggest strength is the character writing. The character writing of some of these stories are super fucking interesting, and seeing how the different generation have handled their previous, because the thing that's interesting is that you don't just see the current generation handling their trauma, you see adults handling the trauma of the pressures of being a hero back in the day, and you see how that trauma has been passed down in some ways generationally to the new generation. And I think that it has some like super interesting character writing in it. Endeavor, fucking great character writing. Bakugo, great character arc. Shigaraki as well. There was some really fucking his backstory. His backstory was actually really metal if you think about it. Hawks is a super interesting character as well. The biggest problem I found is that it has so many interesting characters, but it also has so many characters I don't give a shit about. And yet My Hero Academia insists to give almost everyone an equal amount of runtime. And it goes from like it goes from having a character arc I'm super interested in to just going to this other guy. Like, I don't fucking give a shit about the sugar guy. If you really wanted to make, I don't give a shit about the character arc of the guy who can talk to birds, man. I don't care about that. I know, like, what happened recently was they tried to they went away from this main battle to go to this arc dealing with racism with some characters I didn't really care about back in the time, and afterwards I still didn't really care about them. I just wanted to see what was happening in the main fight with what all the other guys were doing. And it almost felt like there was, I'm not saying that racism is bad. I'm not saying that exploring the topic of racism is bad. I'm saying it was just such a weird execution. It was just such a weird execution because it felt like such a big part. I'm losing my brain cells. It felt like such a big part of this story arc should have been addressed way earlier. This should have been built up way earlier, but it felt like it just dropped this on us immediately and didn't have any prior build up before that. So that's number one, my problem with the character writing with this, is that not every character is interesting. Number two, it gets in the way of the fights. And I made a video before that I said, I find My Hero Academia fights boring. And the title is a bit hyperbolic. I know, it's a bit hyperbolic because I said the main strength was how they tied every fight to the conflicts within each of the characters and their philosophies and stuff like that. And that was the more interesting side of things rather than the fight choreography. And I still go by that take. And now I think that feeling is almost worse than ever. Most recently, so I'm not caught up to date with the newest season, but I have watched 7, 8-ish episodes of the new season, and there was a fight between Todoroki and his brother, and I fucking love the story arc of both these characters and how this fight was basically a build-up of both of their entire character arcs and their storylines. And the fight itself felt like it was turn-based combat, almost. You had one guy monologuing, one guy doing an attack, and then another guy monologuing, flashback, another guy doing an attack. And it was meant to be like a group battle, but it didn't feel like that way at all. It felt like one person versus this group, and then immediately, most of the group just gets like outed for like, I can't even remember the reason, for like fire or something. It was like most of the group just gets outed. And then it just goes, and then immediately there's like not even a fight. There's not even a 1 versus 5 fight. It's just a 1v1 fight. And then it just felt like, like I said, it felt like turn-based combat where they were just taking turns doing an attack, monologuing, doing another attack. And then it all comes down to just one big attack. And then that's it. That's My Hero Academia fights. Like, even with the big climactic fights, for like, until the Bakugo moment, the big Bakugo moment, I'm like, what the fuck are most of this group doing? It's like most of this group is so fucking useless, and then Bakugo figures out how to do an attack. And it's like, okay, Bakugo, it's my turn to attack. All right, no, it's your turn to attack. Okay, no, now it's your turn to attack. And it's just like, bro... Bro, and I get it, because most of this is like every episode focusing on one character and the writing and storyline of one character. But the trade-off with that is that because you are focusing on the storyline of one character, it's like, why am I even watching a fight here? You know, why am I even watching a fight here? I'm interested in the storyline of this character and this and how his story arc ends, but it's almost like the fight was like irrelevant to it for a certain point, you know. That's what it feels like watching some My Hero Academia fights. And this coming off of, like, you know, Demon Slayer season 2, where you had so many different fights going on at the same time, and you had Ufotable switching from like one fight to the next fight with like dynamic movement, and it just felt so cool seeing a fight on so many different fronts, to having the same kind of setup with these My Hero Academia fights, and it just being like, literally, it's just fucking Honkai Star Rail, you know? So that is the biggest thing. It almost uses, I think the show uses simple battle shonens, but masters them all perfectly. I don't think it masters them all perfectly. I think it is, in fact, a little too simple, and it needs to have a little bit more in terms of its fight choreography to really round out these character moments. Because, like I said, that is the biggest strength of My Hero Academia. And so, for that reason, I would say that this take is sizzling. I think My Hero Academia may be overhated nowadays, but it is definitely not the perfect shows, and has some great moments, but also just has so many things that I wish it did better as well. And it just hits that sore spot of something that's so close to greatness, but there are so many things that keeps me from just like from grasping it. And that is my take. Okay. New take. Let's see. What haven't we gone through yet? JJK, Code Geass. Talked about that already. Agent went in. So okay. Here's an interesting take. Mugen says, I hate when an anime's entire premise lasts for a few episodes then becomes a drama. This is especially true for comedies. Kaguya-sama Love is War suffers from this example. Starts off with a premise that love is war, but gradually becomes a generic drama with barely any comedy. Anime that are peak comedy don't suffer from this. Are Asobi Asobase, for example, or my personal favorite comedy, The Disastrous Life of Saiki K. Mugen. This is a hot take. This is a hot take. This is a spicy take, man. This is a spicy take. You probably have more people who think you might be cooking if you literally didn't use Kaguya-sama Love is War. Because I think the big I just think that's a bad example, because I think Kaguya-sama Love is War is a great example of a show that can do both drama and comedy at the same time. So I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. How hot is this take? Because I'm trying to think of other comedy anime that becomes a drama in the end, and I can't think of a. Can you guys think of a show that does this badly? I'm trying to think. Barely any comedy. Nisekoi? Ooh. Toradora? Nah. Shield Hero? Machine? No, Machines are great. Machines, okay. Okay. So I actually can't think of many examples that do this badly off the top of my head. Because most of the time, I don't really care about if a show starts off as a comedy and goes into a drama. I care mostly about the execution. And most of the time, I can think of when I watch a comedy show and it turns into a drama or has dramatic moments in it. Normally, it's just done really fucking well. Orimo, get the fuck out of here, man. You're get the fuck out of here. Like, shows that I think that do this. Kaguya-sama Love is War, for sure, does this. But I really fucking love the drama side of things. Because when a show goes into something more serious, I like that the series trusts that the audience will still stick with it, even if it decides to do something only different. If you're with a bro, and all he is there for is just to be the class clown and to make you laugh, then are you really a bro? If you don't like him at his worst, when he's down, do you deserve him at his best? You know what I mean? I actually fucking love it when comedy anime become more dramatic, because it makes me even more invested in these characters. Because if I'm more invested in these characters, they can do both comedy and drama at the same time, and it can do more than just give me a cheap laugh. If Kaguya-sama Love is War stuck with that premise for its entire run, it would have got boring so fast. It would have got boring so fucking fast, I feel, if it just stuck with that same comedy premise. But adding the drama to it added a new dynamic, added a new layer to what that series was. Same thing with, most recently, Losing Heroines, or Machine. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Machine recently is a rom-com, and it has some great comedy moments in it, but also the dramatic moments help me get invested in each of the characters' storylines. And like I said, if you're just there for a cheap laugh, probably it's going to get boring. It's going to get boring eventually. right? Eventually. How do I pronounce Machine? Is it Machine? 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 Okay. Jesus. So many syllables. So many syllables, man. So many fucking syllables. Oh man. You live in Japan, learn it yourself, bro. Bro. Give me it in a hiragana then. Not comedy, but mystery into action, like Summertime Render. Okay, here's someone who does this constantly. Actually, I'm just thinking about someone who does this constantly. Is Jin Maeda? You forget sometimes with Jin Maeda shows like Angel Beats, like Clan Ads, and what else has he done? Like, you forget because he's more into the dramatic melodrama side of things that he actually does great comedy writing as well. And how he lulls the audience into this false sense of security is by presenting you with this slice of life aspect before hitting you with the heavy drama in it. Because sometimes if you hit the audience in the same way with something just being a pure comedy show, right, that can get boring. Sometimes if you hit an audience with just heavy drama from the get-go, sometimes it's just a little bit too much. It's just too much at once, right? It's just too much. Sometimes you need some lighter themes and some lighter moments to get the characters to give you a sense where you want to get to know these characters more before it hits you with the heavy stuff. So personally, I love that, and I can't really think of any bad examples off the top of my head of a show's entire premise lasting for a few episodes and then going into drama. But I personally like that, and I can't think of many bad examples or any bad examples off the top of my head. So I'm going to say that this is a hot take. Jun Maeda strikes almost the perfect balance between the two. Yeah, he's great at that. Cautious Hero, maybe? I didn't finish Cautious Hero. Unfortunately, Cautious Hero, I enjoyed the first few episodes and then started to get a bit boring for me. Like, this might be just me with comedy anime in general, but sometimes if you hit me on the head with the same kind of joke, then it kind of gets boring. Okay. Let's see. Wow, okay. First free run take of the day. First free run take of the day. First free run take of the day. And what a nuclear take this is. Punished Waifu says Himmel was actually the worst character in Free Run. You spent 60 years waiting for her to come to you, bro. Bro. Yo, nuclear take. Nuclear fucking take, man. Nuclear take. He spent 60 years. This is what I call commitment, man. Giga Chad commitment. He didn't need any other hose, man. He knew what he wanted and he waited. The problem wasn't with him. The problem was with Frieren, man. But he he had the patience of a monk and he didn't care. He died. He died happy, man. He died happy. He might have been a virgin, but he died a happy virgin. And at the end of the day, isn't that the point of life? To be happy, guys? Isn't that the point of life? Isn't that the point? You know? Did he, though? At least he loved once rather than not loving at all, guys. Himmel is a Giga Chad. Himmel is what we all aspire to be and what we should aspire to be as people. And you could see the effect that his philosophy has on the wider world and even kids who want to grow up to be Himmel. Maybe his Giga Chadness was the secret virginity power that I never got. Maybe that's what you get for being the virgin for 50 years, man. You just awaken superpowers. All right, we're gonna do a few more takes. And then I might continue this. We didn't even get through a modicum of some of the interesting takes here. But I've been ranting for 2.5 hours. I think I need a break from ranting. Just a break from ranting for just a little bit. Probably not going to do Elden Ring because I don't have too much time on hand. But we're going to do a few more takes. And then we'll maybe do some more this weekend. We got through 0.1% of them. Okay. Let's see. Let's see who has a take we haven't read yet. King Gant, what's the? I'm not a king. Give that to Himmel. Give that to Himmel. What's the next anime we watching? We are watching Overlord. We are watching Overlord next. And guys, I have clearance to do all 4 seasons. All 4 seasons of Overlord. All 4 seasons of Overlord, baby. We are actually doing it. 50 odd episodes. It is going to be a weekend marathon. So it's likely going to be the weekend of the 25th of October. I have not gotten final confirmation just yet, but I've pitched them the 25th, and it's probably, I haven't decided if it's going to be 2 days or 3 days, but I have a feeling it might be 3 days. So I guess we're just gonna do a weekend-long marathon of Overlord. Would you? Okay, here's the question. Would you guys prefer Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or would you prefer Saturday and Sunday? Three? Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Maybe I'll start it. For the Americans, maybe I'll start it Saturday morning and do 2 seasons on the Saturday, and then do 1 on Sunday and 1 Monday morning, which is still technically Sunday night for Americans and Europeans. Maybe I'll figure out the schedule, or maybe just do it Saturday, Sunday. And just raw dog it. and just raw dog it. So I've pitched, is it this Saturday or next? No, it's about like 4 weeks away. So we got time. We got time for it. We got time for it. No worries. Let's see what else we got. Ooh. Spicy take. Region locking has not been confirmed yet, so I'll have to get back to you on that. But it will be streaming on Twitch and YouTube. So if you happen to be region blocked, then guys, just saying, some services work for YouTube that don't work for Twitch. So if you use coupon code GIGUK to sign up to certain services, then you can still watch it on my YouTube stream. All right, let's hear this one. Bible Black is the pinnacle of hentai. Hentai? Bible Black is the pinnacle of hentai. You get a somewhat decent story, at least for porn. There is a good backstory, which gets a 2-episode OVA. Character designs are great, the animation is good, it's uncensored, and they gave us a sequel and a movie in addition to the prequel. Nothing really comes close these days. What is he talking about? I've never heard of this before. Bro is cooking. Bro is cooking. You know what? I'm gonna be a boomer. I'm gonna be a boomer, guys. Kanajo, is Kanajo better? Nah. They don't make them like they used to. They just don't make them like they used to, guys. I'm going to be that person. They don't make them like they used to. Hentai back in the day, way better than what we get today. I miss the days of 30-minute episodes with actual plots in between all the cultured scenes, man. With actual plots in between the cultured scene. Nowadays, it's all about the 15-minute episode. Just speed run through everything and just give me a 15-minute short OVA. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This isn't plot. This is a scenario. You're giving me the most bare bones basic scenario of all time. And that's it. That is it. That's all I'm getting. Back in the day, we actually got a fucking story. We actually got a story, guys. You actually care about the plots? Yes, I care about the plots. Okay? Unironically, I care about the plots because it makes it better, guys. All right? It makes it better, guys. There was a time when you guys would know that because there was a time when every hentai was like that. And every hentai would have at least like 3 episodes. Every hentai would have like 3 episodes. At least 2 episodes. And now we get like 1 episode, 15-minute OVAs. And that's it. How can I get invested in this, man? Elitism for hentai. Yes, can we gatekeep gooning now? Let's just gatekeep jacking off. Kids these days, the fucking new generation don't know how to do it correctly, man. Back in the day, we had to work for that shit, man. Oh, man. But unironically, I do think that Bible Black is the pinnacle of hentai, man. It has everything. It has a backstory. It has lore. It has amazing scenes. I unironically think that Bible Black still has better animation than most copy-paste hentai that gets released today. I actually think a lot of hentai back in the day had better animation and better character designs. I feel like there were way more variety in the aesthetic and character designs now. And nowadays, so many hentai just look the fucking same. They just look the same. And I'd say there's more interesting things going on in the doujin scene, which is obviously why a lot of people are saying doujins are better. But I like my movement. I like my movement. I like my fucking sound effects and stuff. Doujins are better in a certain sense, but I would just prefer it just to have it be in hentai form, man. Pink Pineapple used to be good. Now it's like a 50-50, you know. Now it's a 50-50. Before, Pink Pineapple used to be like banger, 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 banger. And now it's just like, okay, maybe this one is cooking. And sometimes it's just like, okay. You've gone down the Queen Bee route. So I'm gonna say, Azahara, you are cooking, my dude. I agree. We peaked with Bible Black, and we have never reached that pinnacle ever again. We're never gonna get another series like Bible Black that started with 6. Can you imagine a hentai these days getting 6 episodes, and then on top of 6 episodes, you have a sequel series with like another 6 episodes, and then a prequel series, and then side stories? What the fuck? This is like the Fate equivalent of hentai, man. The Bible Black universe goes hard, man. It goes hard. Oh, man. Unheard of, man. All right, what's next? Fate. Dog. Fate is hentai. No, it's not. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Fate's not hentai. Fate. Excuse me, sir? Excuse me? I don't know what you're talking about. Fate, excuse me, I'll have you know, Fate just, Fate is a visual novel, right? It's a great story. It's a historical anime. You know, all I saw in Fate was dolphins. All right, what's next? What's next? What's next? Oh. Vivi says, School Days is often unfairly rated and gets a ridiculous amount of hate despite having achieved everything it set out to do as a deconstruction of the 2000s anime harem genre, as well as showcasing the infamous bad ends the game was famous for in the first place. Joey, you can't trick me, Joey. You can't trick me. I can see that this is an alt account, Joey. This is an alt account. This is an alt account, Joey. This would be. Shall I be that guy? Shall I be that guy, guys? Shall I be that guy? Visual novel did it better. Visual novel did it better. I'm going there. I'm going there, guys. Visual novel did it better. I think the anime was kind of boring, actually. My biggest School Days on paper should really be up my alley. It should really be up my alley for like trashy romance anime. And you compare it to other romances like, you know, Domestic Girlfriend, fucking what other shows go into this direction? why is it only Domestic Girlfriend going into this direction? I know there are other shows. Fuck. Usagi no Sora? Oh yeah. White Album? Yeah. White Album, domestic girlfriend, Oromo. Don't say Oromo. We're not saying Oromo, guys. Scum's wish, yeah, Scum's wish. But unfortunately, I just think that School Days, the biggest problem with School Days, aside from making every fucking uncharacter unlikable as fuck, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, I just think it was really, really fucking boring. And it was only within like the last few episodes that it really started to pop off, man. It was only in the last few episodes that you're like, oh, okay, this is fucking spicy. This is fucking spicy. But before that, it was just really generic. It was really generic right up until the end. Like I'm talking like the last two episodes where it was just like, holy fucking shit. And it just felt like it just slapped you in the face with a lot of that. And at this point, I didn't fucking give a shit about the characters. This just felt more like it was a shock factor for shock factor's sake. When I first watched School Days, it was like, it gave me a primal kind of like anger towards Makoto, the main character, and some of the female characters as well. And it gave you satisfaction. It gave you that satisfaction in the ending, but I really feel like it was just, you know, it's not something that I have any interest watching twice, because I don't feel like it has much more going for it once that shock factor is revealed. And I don't think calling it a deconstruction of 2000s anime harem genre is enough of a defense to just defend the first 9-ish episodes of it, which were just, from my memory, just pretty fucking boring, man. If you're gonna give me some spice, just give me more spice, man. Give me more turns. Give me more twists and turns. Don't just throw everything in on the last episode. Give me more twists and turns than that, man. So this is a hot take for me. And Joey, it's okay. You tried your best, Joey. I know this account was made 5 minutes ago, but Joey, it's okay. It's okay, Joey. I'm joking. Sorry. Sorry, Vivi. I know. Oh, sorry, Vivi. All right, let's do one more take. I know you're a real person. Okay. One more take. Symphogear, haven't watched that yet. Give me a longer take. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, this should be interesting. Jusagi says, with some exceptions, the second a shonen anime resorts to the tournament arc, it's when the plot becomes creatively bankrupt. At best, it's buying time for the mangaka to come up with something interesting to happen. At worst, it bloats to encompass like 100 volumes of the manga and goes nowhere. Ooh. Wait. Hold on a second. But I love tournament arcs. Tournament arcs are fucking great. But he's kind of cooking. He's kind of cooking. He's actually kind of cooking, man. But I love tournament arcs. I fucking love it. Tournament arcs are great. But shit, man. Shit. I can't. I disagree, but I agree at the same time. Oh, man. Oh, Okay, let's break this. Let's break this down. Let's break this down. I hated the My Hero Academia Sports Festival. I thought the Sports Festival was a tournament arc done well, actually. Let's break this down. Okay. What are some bad tournament arcs that I can think of? Is there such a thing as a bad tournament arc? One Punch Man season 2. I think it was good in the manga. Dragon Ball Z. I mean, that was just Natlin. I haven't watched Natlin yet, so Shield Hero Tournament arc, yes. Free runs is bad? No, I don't think so. Alright. Let's break this down. Tournament arcs is a trope that I fucking love. Is it overdone in anime? Arguable. It is probably arguably overdone, but it's such an easy way to bring hype into a series, and it's such an easy way to get me hype in a series, because tournament arcs are just fucking fun. There are so many different aspects to tournament arc, especially in the premise of a shonen battle anime, that just reignites the storyline, and that just reignites my investment in the storyline. And you get the best part of shonen action within the tournament arc, because you have power scaling, you have a great way to introduce new powers, new characters. You have unknown characters, and it's just such an easy way to introduce a bunch of new characters and make it the payoff for the main character if they've done like a training arc or something as well. I think the real bad point comes from what comes after the tournament arc, because an author can put a tournament arc in and just know it's an easy banger. If this was a YouTube video, he makes a tournament arc video and he knows it's an easy 1 out of 10. You know? He knows it's an easy 1 out of 10. The problem is, what happens once that tournament arc ends? Do you have a plan of where to go once the tournament arc ends? Or is it just going to be... Are you just putting the tournament arc there because you know that a tournament arc is probably going to go down well and you kind of don't know what you want to do afterwards? I feel like the best tournament arcs have a good build-up and are put into the right place. Naruto, for example, the Chunin exam arc is one of my favorite tournament arcs, aside from the Dark Tournament, because you have one tournament you have one arc that basically introduces the concept of ninjas, introduces the main core cast, and then the tournament arc was just such a cool way to show you not only cool characters, but be like, wow, by the way, there are ninjas from this village, from that village, from those villages, and you're like, oh shit, this just expanded the whole world.
But at the same time, it results in some of the best shonen has to offer. Think of the Chubin exams. It pretty much was that time for Kishimoto to plan out the rest of the series, and it cooked.
You literally just went off on what I was talking about. You have ninjas from this village, that village, those village, and it just set the stage to just, after the tournament arc, really expands the world of Naruto to just more than just the Leaf Village. And that was such a good use of the tournament arc. The second problem is if you overuse the tournament arc. Okay, every series, you get one. You get one, guys. You get one. You get one tournament arc to get people hype. 2, kind of pushing it. Only a few series have done that well. Yu Yu Hakusho being one of them. Only a few series have done that well. But at 2, you're like, okay, I see this. I see you already. I see you. Unless you're going into more of a sports anime kind of territory, unless you're going into more of a sports anime kind of territory, I think the audience is just going to get tired of that trope because we've seen what it is. So, like I said, I don't think every tournament arc comes from when the plot becomes creatively bankrupt, but I think a lot of authors might use it as a crux. And it is hype. It is hype to me. 80% of the time, a tournament arc goes hard. At least the first one. The first one in every series. Every example you were listing off, like Black Clover, I really enjoyed the Black Clover tournament arc. Obviously, Yu Yu Hakusho, Flames of Recca, I haven't seen yet. Food Wars, the first tournament arc went hard, and then it just lost steam after that. Mashle, I thought the tournament arc wasn't the best tournament arc in the world, but I still enjoyed it. It was, to say that it was a bad arc, I was like, I don't think it's a bad arc. I just think it was not the strongest tournament arc of all time. Frieren is not a bad tournament arc. It might be different, but bro, the Frieren tournament arc had so many good moments in it. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? When that fucking old guy was like, bro, I may be out of mana, but I ain't out of hands, baby. Let's go. I was like, let's fucking go. Like the biggest, like, it wasn't a bad tournament arc. I just think it went on for a little bit too long, you know. The real test, I think, is what comes after that tournament arc and where the tournament arc is placed. And yes, I do think some plots are creatively bankrupt by putting a tournament arc in them. But it's still hype. It's still hype. But Jisagi, I would actually say you're cooking. I have a big bias. I have a big bias when it comes to tournament arc. But you're cooking. And I think that is a good take to end on for now with the hot takes. We have a lot more takes to go through, so we'll probably do another one of this where we go through some more responses on my Twitter. Maybe we'll go through Tektone's other takes if we have time. But there was a lot, including from other friends and content creators I couldn't go through. And maybe I'll let you guys submit some takes live and see if there's anything that I want to go through as well. But I want to chill out for just a bit. We're not going to do Elden Ring right now. Stick with anime. I want to stick with anime.